Hello and welcome back to Courageously Living. I am Tara and you are watching your weekly forecast. And it is for the week of April 13th through the 19th. And I just started these last week. I had been doing dailies and then I switched to just kind of a overall week vibe. And so I do a mix of Oracle and Tarot for these weekly forecasts based on the transiting moon. And seeing last week was my first week doing it, I did forget that it was actually a full moon on the 12th. And it was a Libra full moon. And also Venus and Mercury went direct this past week too. So things that have been feeling very, very internal for you should kind of start to feel like you can kind of move forward again a little bit for you. I don't have anything marked on my calendar for big Astro this week. Again, but I'm not an astrologer, so there's definitely could be other Astro that I'm just not aware of or that I'm just choosing not to focus on. As far as I know, the bigger Astro was last week, and I forgot to call it out. What I'm going to do this week is I am going to do tarot cards from a deck called Break the Rules Tarot. It's a really fun kind of casual deck, and because it's Break the Rules, I took the major arcana out and then just some of the other minors. So you'll get to see that it's just kind of a random grouping of the tarot cards. And so one of the first things that I do is let's get the vibe for the week. And this is really interesting because there is so much change, so much chaos happening right now. But the vibe for the week has been pretty accurate. Because obviously before I was doing the dailies, I was still doing vibes for myself and also for my Patreon group. All right, for the vibe for the week is 8 of Wands. Now, this is about fast movement. You can, and I love, one of the things I love about these cards is some of them are actually horizontal, which is against the rules in Tarot, but it's a spaceship and they move faster than the speed of light. So expect things to move fast this week. In your personal life, in the collective, there's just going to be a lot going on, a lot of information coming out. Again, personally and in your collective, or in the collective, I should say. That's the overall vibe. So if we're going into something that's really like, all right, let's bring it, we're going to look at today is still, in the morning, is still a Libra moon. And I will say that I am recording this on Saturday, April 12th, but it'll go up Sunday, April 13th for the week. And so in the morning, there still will be a Libra moon. And if you didn't do anything for releasing relationships or values that are no longer serving you, you can still do that. The energy of the full moon is definitely still around. And so the 13th card for the Libra moon is the Ace of Swords. Truth. What truth is coming to the surface for you, especially personally? With the changing of the retrogrades for Venus and Mercury, There's going to be some truths that are going to come up for you today. Maybe it has to do with a relationship. Maybe it has to do with something at work. Maybe it has to do with the collective. Although at this point, there is so much information coming out daily that's not necessarily a new thing. The other thing that I will say here is with this truth coming out, I did 2 short videos on Skylight and YouTube about that headlines are designed to trigger you. They are designed to evoke an emotion, usually fear or usually anger. So just keep that in mind as you're still kind of being updated on what is going on. Think about the words that they are using, and you can then choose to say, okay, this is still bad, and I'm choosing not to immediately react to this because that is what they are looking for, is the immediate reaction. So that is for Sunday the 13th. So then we go into a Scorpio moon, which is a water moon for the 14th and the 15th. Now, Scorpios sting. Watch your words for others and for yourself. There are going to be potentially things that you can't take back once you've said. So count to 10 before you snap back at somebody. Count to 10 or set that email aside before you hit send. That said, Scorpio is amazing at uncovering things. They like to dig deep. They like to do that research. So there might be something that you have in your personal life at work that you're finding out about, that you're digging deep into. And so for these 2 days, the card is the Fool. Where are you starting new? Once you've dug up this information, you have a choice on how you're going to use it. And maybe you sit with it for these couple of days and let yourself process it. Or conversely, you are totally like the Fool and are like, yep, I got this information and I'm going to run with it, and not knowing where you're going. That's your choice. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe you take an immediate reaction, but then you're going to hold back on something. That's your option. You get to choose how you are responding to information that is coming out and truths that are coming out. We move into Wednesday the 16th and Thursday the 17th for the Sagittarius moon. And it's the Empress. And I love this deck's Empress because almost all the other tarot decks are talking about, fertility and younger women and birth. And she's like, hey, I can still be an empress at any age. And especially I have more knowledge and wisdom to create things at any age. So where are you creating something in your life? And it doesn't matter your physical age. What are you creating? 2 beautiful, beautiful days to create. And especially with Sagittarius, which is a fire energy anyways, think about what you're starting to put into place that you want. Doesn't matter necessarily what other people want. Again, you can consult them, do all that stuff, but it might be something from what you learned on the Scorpio side. You're going to start to build and take action on it. Oh, yeah, no, that was the 16th, 17th. Oh, and 18th. I'm sorry. That also included Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's all the Empress energy. And we round out the week on the Saturday the 19th with Capricorn. Capricorn is all about hard work, but not necessarily the work you thought you were going to do. And it's the Judgment card. Another card that is also on the side. Where are you afraid of being judged, especially as you are looking at creating things? Capricorn wants to be structured, wants to know everything that is going to happen. Part A, part B, part C. Because that's how you don't get judged. What if you're not being judged? What are you allowing yourself to create if you let go of the judgment of others and the judgment of self? You get to choose. You get to choose. Let go of the other people's judgment. Let go of the judgment that you're putting on yourself, because most of that judgment is because of a fear of how others are going to judge you. And it's not easy. I still deal with it too. But I try to catch myself faster and say, oh yeah, that's my reaction because I didn't want this reaction. I didn't want to be judged. A long time I didn't want to be visible, didn't want to be on YouTube because I didn't want the judgment. I didn't want that. And now I'm like, that's on you. My path, your path. So think about that to end out the week on Saturday. That is what I have for you for this week's forecast. Sending you so much love. Make sure you give yourself a self hug. You have a private side and a public side, and both really, really could use your extra support this week, especially with information coming out. Be gentle with yourself. Rewatch this video as much as you need, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye for now.